Hi guys, it's Chris with City Your Homestead. So this has been a pantry week, and everything that I picked because it's easy and it can be used out of our pantry. So today I'm going to make, I know it sounds really simple because it is, I'm going to make tuna mac and cheese. So the first thing that I need to do is I've got my water boiling over here. We are going to use the cheese packets. And I'm going to double this recipe because I always want enough to have Tom take enough for the next day for work. So we're going to get those, the mac and cheese, the noodles all started to cook up and get them ready. I know it seems really, really simple. I get that. But I think we need to know that we can eat from our pantry as simple as we can and make delicious, yummy meals. Today I'm using the milk from my refrigerator. The mac and cheese is from my pantry. So is the tuna. The vegetables I'll be using is actually from my freezer. So it was used from all of the different things. So, Carmen actually asked me, was I going to do another pantry week next week? Is that something that you guys would like to see me do? I've got some recipes picked out that they will be from my pantry. They're going to be really good. But, and I'm trying to keep them reasonable too as well. This weekend you're going to see a somewhat expensive meal. And I did buy the stuff to go with it. Other than that, I've avoided buying anything. But Tom has been working really, really hard. Really hard. So I want to make him an extraordinary meal on Sunday. Because that's his only day that he usually has off. And I'd like to have him have a meal that, if we went out, it'd be probably $60. If we eat it here at home, it might be maybe 20, if that. So you will see me splurge, I think, on Sunday. Because he deserves it. So I'm going to let these noodles cook, and then we're going to come back and we're going to put together a really good meal out of our pantry. Okay, so the noodles are still cooking. But what if I told you I totally changed my mind? You would say, good thing Jack's not here because I do that all the time. But I got to thinking, just because we're doing pantry meals does not mean we can't jazz it up a little bit, right? Now, I've heard people talk about doing it, so why not do it? All right, I happen to have crackers in my cupboard. And Tom hates that I leave those single packages of crackers in there. He goes, leave them in the box. Well, to me, the box takes up way too much room. So, what about if we crush these up? And we put them on top of it and make it a baked casserole instead of just from off the stove. Why not? And then I'm using up crackers that will not get on Tom's nerves anymore. So, winner, winner. Tuna dinner. This is the one thing that Jack goes, every time I say, I changed my mind. He's like, what to now? And you know something? We can do that. It's our kitchen. We can do anything that we want to. You know what? Why does it have to be just a plain Jane tuna mac in there when we can make it something fancier? And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to let these noodles get done. And I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm going to create my own thing. And if it turns out great, good. So I'll be back. Alright, so the noodles are done. Because I doubled this up, I'm going to put in a half of a cup of butter. I'm going to get that put in there. Let it start melting a little bit. We're going to get our cheese sauce put in. And if you don't want to do the cheese sauce, don't. That's completely 100% up to you. Now, I was going to say a point too is that, you know, I'm not going to measure my milk because I like it creamier. So I'll put some in there. If I need less or more, whatever, it'll work. I'll stir that more in just a minute when that butter starts melting. Anyways, if it's a broke week for you and you're really trying to put together something for your family, or you just don't have the money, or you really are just trying to clean out your pantry, you know, you can beef these things up with extra vegetables. You know, if you have canned vegetables in there, it asks for frozen. And actually, I'm not going to do what it says. It says a 1/4 cup of frozen peas, a 1/4 cup of frozen corn. I'm not going to open it up just for 2 different bags for that. And you can use regular canned corn, regular peas. But what I'm going to use today is my mixed vegetables. And then whatever I don't use, I'll put in a gallon baggie and put it back into my freezer because it's not thawed out. You know, I think during this pantry week, I also just want to, I'm not saying teach anything because I'm not a teacher, but I can remember my grandparents adding things to make things stretch, to make it a bigger amount so that they could feed everybody. And I think that we've forgotten to do that in some cases. And I think that it's important that we learn how to extend our food and to make it last. Like, I love tuna fish. So, you know, I want enough for tonight's dinner for both me and Tom, enough for his lunch tomorrow, and then enough for my lunch as well. So, I know it seems like a lot for a 9x13 pan, but actually, Tom always takes, he's a healthy eater. Believe me, he eats a lot. But he works really hard too. And so, we use that 9x13 pan up. If we don't, we usually give it to Jack and Missy, but they're cooking the same thing tonight too. But, you know, make it so that you can cover your lunch the next day. Or that you, if you're single, you know, like I keep thinking, that's sometimes dangerous, but I keep thinking to myself, you know, like, when I don't have to do for Tom's lunch the next day, what am I going to do? Because I'm used to cooking a lot. And there's a lot of you that are single out there. Don't let that stop you from cooking a big portion. You know, like I got those plastic containers that you guys bought for me, and then I bought some more. And they work great for the freezer. And you know what? Just label them on the top with a piece of, you know, tape or whatever, and what it is. And then, you know, you can cook a week of meals. And then if you're single, you might have 2 weeks of meals after that. So, you know, go ahead and make those bigger portions. And then use them later down the road. I'm sure most of you already do that. I'm going to add just a little bit more milk because I really do like mine creamy. But, you know, do what works for you to extend that pantry food out. Now, if you don't have room in your freezer, that's pretty hard to do. But freezer meals are really such a big thing right now for people because, you know, they don't have time to cook or whatever. And if you're a grandparent or a parent and you spend a lot of time with your kids or grandkids, sometimes you really don't have enough time to get everything together. So there's nothing wrong with preparing ahead of time. All right, this butter is just about melted. See, I'll show you. You can even make box cream cheese look good, or mac and cheese. Look at that. Just add a little bit more milk or a little bit more butter, and it's so much creamier and it's so much nicer. Now you're going to add your cans of tuna, and I drained mine really, really well. And then, like I said, I'm going to use the mixed vegetables. They are still a little bit frozen, but when you put it in with that hot stuff, and it says about a half a cup, so it actually ended up being about a cup. I'm going to add a little bit more than that, because I want this to be a nice filling meal. You know what I mean? I want it to be full. Look at that, you guys. Hold on. Oh. Maybe Tom won't get any of it. I lost another 2 pounds, by the way. Down 24 now. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just because it's pantry doesn't mean it can't be pretty. I like pretty food, though. So, you know, I think that you eat with your eyes first. And, you know, I think that's a good thing. Sometimes the ugliest food, though, is the best, to be honest. I know that sounds funky, but it's true. Alright, so now I'm going to take all the air out of that bag. And I'll use this up. That's why I don't suction out the air. Because I know that this is going to get used within a good month or so. It doesn't take long, believe me, for those mixed vegetables to get used up. Alright, so now I have a greased 9x13 pan. And we're going to dump all that in there. Well, that did pretty good. Alright. You don't need to see my mug. Look at that. I think I could have actually added a few more vegetables. And I use quite a bit, but you could always add more. You know, your kitchen, your gig, you do you. I've got just a little bit of cheese left in one bag. One thing I like is that, you know, I've been using up some of the partial things here and there. And you know what? That makes so much more room in your fridge, your freezer, even your, you know, pantry. It seems nice. So I'm not going to put a bunch of cheese on there because obviously it's already got cheese in it. Or fake cheese, whatever they put in there. Let's seal that back up. And then I'm going to take those crackers that I crunched up and we're going to put that over the whole entire top. I think this will be good. I think I've tried it maybe once before, but I don't remember how I did it. Look at that. I think this is going to make really a good dish. Kind of even it out there. And then I know you don't cover it, I don't think anyway, because you want the, but I think you have to put melted butter on it too. Let me get a little bit of butter. Alright, so I just took about 3 tablespoons, and I'm going to drizzle it just across the top there. I think I read somewhere that you're supposed to put butter on it. There we go. Now I'm going to put it uncovered in the oven until all the cheese and everything's warmed up. So I would say at least 30 minutes. So I'm going to put that in the oven. And I'll tell you, that's a heavy casserole. So I think it's going to be a great meal. We'll see. I spilt some of it, I guess. I tell you, I'm a messy cook. But I want to thank you guys for all the responses and the comments that you've been making about the meals. That's great. And let me know if you want me to do that again next week. I've got a few things picked out that I think would be really good that I've never had before. So, most of the recipes, honestly, I haven't had before. Who are you kidding? I just pick new stuff because I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Now, goulash, once in a while, that's going to creep in there because you know what? That is my favoriteest. I love goulash. I could eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I know that's weird, but that's the one thing that my mom made. And actually, it isn't even the way I make it. I like the way I do it far better. But I just love the taste of it. I really do. So, we're going to get that cooked up and get it out of the oven and see how it turns out. I hope it turns out good because I had to change my mind at the last minute. You know how that is. I am doing a Thankful Thursday tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about or even what I'm going to make. That's just how it rolls with me. I think I'm going to look and see what I have in the freezer. Maybe I'll make up something from the freezer. Could be. So I'll be back. Guys, for macaroni and cheese, this smells really, really good. Check it out. I'm glad I did that. It's really piping hot. Let's give it a try. Tom's on his way home. He has to stop at Sam's first. We need kitty litter. Mmm. Mmm. I am glad I added the crackers. That's really good. And it wasn't expensive. And it all came out of my pantry. And it was really easy. And I think it's a great meal. So, Tom will be here shortly. And then we'll give him a taste test and see what he thinks. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
How are you?
Tired.
And you couldn't even get through the gas tanks, huh?
No.
Guess you have to leave early in the morning.
There's a whole lot of people there.
There's dinner. It is tuna mac and cheese. And I end up changing it and making it baked tuna mac and cheese with crackers on top.
This is really good.
Not bad for a pantry meal, huh? So are you enjoying my pantry meals?
So far.
Tomorrow's going to be a fun one.
What's tomorrow?
I'm not telling. I already told you. Because I told you I needed you to bring me something up from downstairs. You're tricking people. Must be he likes it. He hasn't stopped eating. Then I got some leftover cottage cheese and a can of mixed vegetables, mixed fruit from the pantry as well. So we're going to let him eat. Obviously, he's hungry. You guys have a blessed night. Be a blessing. And goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye, what?
Goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye,
Tom. Oh, my Lord.
Goodbye.
Have a good night, guys.